GM traders, and welcome back to VTrading. Today I thought I would go over the last couple of weeks of price movement on Bitcoin and how I do my Asia session, London session analysis. So I use the Market Maker Method, which is a basically a method looking at manipulation in the markets, and it follows a very predictable structure in the way that the week plays out. So I'll go over the last couple of weeks and kind of show you how the Market Maker Method works, and then how it interacts with the Asia session and then the London sessions. And so if you're also in Asia or in Europe, you might be able to find this useful. I've not usually trading much of the New York session anymore. It's too late for me. It doesn't open right now until 12:30 a.m. So it's a struggle for me to do that. So I've had to adapt my style to trading in Asia and in London instead. So first off, this is a couple of weeks ago, so this is Monday, January 20th. And so we can kind of see, here's our consolidation, which usually happens on the weekend. So most weekends, not much happens on the weekends. It's just usually a consolidation. And what you can see here is that this is New York close actually right here. So that's, if it was a normal trading day, that's 4 p.m. in New York. And so what you've seen here is we've got a fake out move up that's broken that consolidation over the weekend, and then we have a dump. So usually what happens in Monday is that we have the false move week beginning, and so most of the time, not all the time, but a lot of the time on Monday, you will get a fake move in the opposite direction that we're actually going to go. Here we actually had two. So we had a fake out up, which is what basically that's going to do, is going to take out all the people who've gone long over the weekend. So it's going to take them out, take their stops off, go short, get everyone else to go short, and then basically it's going to rip it up once we actually get here. This is Asia changeover, so this is Tokyo, Hong Kong. And so once we hit Asia, we actually go back the other way. So we've completely wrecked everyone. We've wrecked all the shorts, and we've wrecked all the longs before New York's even opened. So that's always fun. And so here you can actually see, this is actually a trade that I took as I was watching in Asia in the morning. So this for me is a long signal. And so I actually took this long here with my stop loss just underneath, and I actually almost got stopped out here, but then it kept going. So this was actually a really nice move for me. But again, using the Market Maker Method, we do PVSRA candles, which are these colored candles. So anytime you get a red green or pink green, pink blue, that sort of thing, that's a good indication that's a manipulated move. And so I use them for entries a lot of time. And as you can see here, this is really, this is a W. So it's a little bit lower here. London, so the blue box high low is Asia high low, the yellow box is London entry, and then we got consolidation all through the rest of London until we had a bit of a dump in New York. So then we move on to Tuesday, the next day. So for me, again, in Asia, if you see these red, blue, train track, railroad reversals, that's usually a market maker move. And so if you took that entry, usually that's a good continuation move. And again, this is what I call Asia open. So technically Tokyo opens at 10 a.m. our time, and then 11:30 is Hong Kong open. So you'll see a lot of fake out moves and a lot of movements within that kind of hour range. And then you actually don't record the Asia high and the Asia low until that 11 o'clock. So you can see all the live data. And so basically for my timing, you start Hong Kong opens at 11:30. So Asia actually starts getting measured half an hour before that. So half an hour before Asia open is your open. And then we measure it until 2:45. So it's like basically 2:59, 3 o'clock my time. And that gives you Asia high and Asia low for the day. And so you can pretty much measure everything else apart from that. So what I usually do is once I have this area, which is your Asia high, Asia low, I get my London session, which is until... So once you've measured your Asia high and your Asia low, that's where I put my box, because that is the area of time. We put this in New York time just so it's easier for everyone to understand. So to do the Asia range, you start at 8 o'clock p.m. and then you go to 8 a.m. the next day. So the Asia range is going to get measured from 8 p.m. until midnight, and that is going to be your Asia range. And then I measure London from 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. in New York time, and that is the London range that I am looking for move. So once I start to do my analysis, once I've got my Asia range closed, I draw my box, and then I look for either trends or consolidations. And recently it's been very trendy in Asia, so it's almost every day is trending, which is like so weird. Forever it was like just always ranging and never doing anything, but it's actually been trending quite a lot lately. And so I do low here and a higher low. So I'm going to draw my trend line from each corner of each box, generally in the angle of how strong the trend is. Sometimes I'll do it up through here or up through here if the trending is like it's strong trending. But most of the time this is kind of your trend. And if you get bounces off this trend line, it is a very good indication that you're going to continue in London and New York. So for here in particular, if I took this trade here as well, I got a green candle entry bounce off the trend line in my afternoon. So this is actually a good entry. There was actually another one here in London as well. If you go down to the 5-minute chart, you actually got candles in there as well. So there was 2 entries on this day, and it was a really nice continuation up into New York. So I took most of my profits here because that's what you trading in Asia and London. You don't like to hold it into New York because like a lot of the times it just reverses. So for this particular one, I did leave a runner, and I'm pretty sure I got a bit more on top of that. But that was a really nice, really like textbook trending day. Some reversals. So in general, we tend to go up and then reverse in the middle and then down, or vice versa. So we'll go down, up, and then reverse. So this is our M formation here pattern going in. This is New York close. And then coming into Asia, we've got this very strong, not super strong, but continuous downtrend. So same thing, do my Asia box. By the time I've done that, draw my box out, draw the trend line. We got a very strong reversal right off that trend line. So that was the trend line. It's also VWAP as well. So this was a very strong down entry. There was another one here that would have got stopped out because it came back a little bit too much. Or this, if you were holding on for longer, this could have been a good downplay into New York. So yeah, that was another good trade I took that day. This is pretty hectic here, but same sort of idea. Draw your Asia line. Let me put this on again. I like this indicator. This is actually an SMT ICP indicator that I actually found from doing futures trading, which is very interesting. But so I got my Asia box, draw my Asia range. It's a downtrend, draw my down line. It's following the trend, but I'm not really getting any big rejections off this line. So I'm not getting any colored candles. So it's like kind of like, was it going to do anything? But what you actually see is we get a fake out breakout with our colored candles breaking the Asia low. So this is my sign, okay, this is probably going to reverse here. And then what do we get? We get a bounce off the top of the trend line with green candles. And then there we go. So this was actually a great London fake out. And then it continues on. So as we see again, create your Asia range, do your trend line. Are we getting any big reversals off that trend, off the VWAP? No, nothing. These are the colored candles. This is why I love these PVSRA candles. It's like they're really showing you where the manipulation is happening. And I think this was news. This is probably, yeah, this is a New York Open. So this would have been a news day. But look at this guy right here. Fake out candle down, push up, green candle. Beautiful, like manipulated W reversal. And this is Friday, so usually Friday not much happens on Friday. And I don't usually trade again New York, but this, if you call it the Asia range, this was a nice little bounce off support here. So this is the 200 on the 15. Had our Asia range, got a little bit of a push, but then just consolidated. So this is a no trade day for me. If I did, there's nothing really in here that I could have like. This is a mess because this is like news trading. So yeah. So anyway, this is not really a trade day for me. So I'll let this play out, but this was hectic. I actually watched this happen and I had no idea what was going on. I tried to look up the news. I'm like, something's happened in the news. What's going on? No, like it just absolutely tanked. And then all the news came out about Nvidia and all that sort of stuff. But if you know anything about market making and manipulation, This is a textbook, absolutely textbook, like consolidation. There is a small M formation here that you could have caught. There's some other indicators looking at. You've got a little bit of manipulation here. But this, like, beautiful manipulated move. This green box here is a green candle. So a previous green candle from last week. And so all it did was absolutely dump straight down, also into the low ADR, and like literally almost perfectly collected. That's the bottom of the candle. It just perfectly took out that whole liquidity from that previous green vector candle, bounced off the low ADR, W formation, straight up, and then we saw the bounce that comes after that. So as much as this looks scary, they this beautifully on purpose, like bang off support, absolutely beautiful move. So when I see these candles, if I see a red, green, green, red, any sort of combination like that, it's a really good indication that that's a manipulated move and they're about to reverse. So I actually caught this down here somewhere, because if you go down lower, it's actually, you can see it. But when I saw it bouncing off the low ADR, if I saw it taking that liquidity, I went long and took it there. But you could have come in again here, because this is a beautiful like W reversal. And a lot of times when you get these really severe pushes down, they will not come back and retest. They will just keep going straight up. So if you don't get in here or here, it's like you're gonna miss out, because it's just gonna keep going. So yeah, this is another really nice move there. And if you can kind of see the rest of the week, not much was really happening in Asia and London. I think it was just like consolidating and recovering from that crazy move on Monday. And even on here, which is the wet Thursday, there wasn't much, like, unless you caught this Asia move, there was an Asia move here. Not much happening. Didn't really get many trades in last week. That's why I haven't really kind of been super active, just kind of watching. But I also had a really big week. We had a bunch of events up here that I was doing. We had Stand With Crypto in Brisbane. Move that I probably want to have a look at would be this move on Friday. And so this is actually the first W I've seen for a long time. And so, because we've been trending so heavily, it's been interesting to actually see a W or an M consolidation. So this is actually pretty classic and a great example for you guys. Actually going to go down to the 5 minutes. So I just went down to the 5 minutes so you can have a little bit of a better look. So first thing I do, wait for my Asia range to close, draw my box, draw my trend. So the first thing I notice is that this is only 1%. So anything less than 2 is consolidation, but anything quite tight than that is definitely going to be making me think more consolidation. And I want to see a trend. I want to see it reject off of this line, and it just didn't reject. It came through, it pushed through, and there was no real strong rejection at any of those lines. So that's when you're like, okay, maybe this isn't going to continue. This might be a consolidation reversal. And what we saw here is quite a nice W. And if you actually look down here, if you zoom in, it literally breaks the Asia low by a tiny little bit, and then it's like boom. So this is actually quite a nice example of a W consolidation reversal. So we've got pretty much nothing happening all day. We've got our first RW, and then we have this is our reversal pattern. So this is a 3 candlestick reversion here. And then we've got a bounce off of that trend line to reverse, and then off we go. And that would have been a really nice little trade if you'd held it all the way up through New York as well. So that was probably the most interesting thing other than Monday from last week. But yeah, hopefully that explains some of my ideas on how I do my charting and how I trade in Asia and London. So if you have any questions, let me know. Chat me on Twitter. And for more detailed breakdowns, I do talk about it on my Telegram. So hopefully you guys can join my Telegram and see me doing these trades live. But yeah, otherwise we'll chat next time. See ya!